Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing okay. In this set of videos I'll be talking a little bit about object-oriented programming. It should mostly be a review of what you already know about objects, then I'll talk about classes, then constructors, and then lastly, method overloading. So object-oriented programming is a programming paradigm that uses objects to solve problems. So what is an object? Well, an object bundles together information and related behavior, or behavior related to that information specifically. So this means attributes or properties or features and functions. So in programming this is a function or a method, but a real world object has like actions. So if we think about a real world object like a car has attributes like its make, model, color, number of doors, and many more. And it also has functions like forward drive, reverse drive, honk, and brake. So each object has its own local state. So if you think about a car, there are millions of cars. Each car has its own make, model, color. It does drive, reverse drive, honking, and braking slightly differently, but in the end they're of course all cars. So they maintain their own local state. And each object also knows how to manage its own local state. So if your car were to get a paint job, one of its attributes, the color, would be updated. And in programming this is done with method calls. It's like passing a message to the object. So why are objects useful? Suppose I wanted to represent two cars. These are only a few variables. I'd have to create things like a variable for color, make, year, model, and if I wanted to create another set of variables to represent another car, I'd create the same variables with different variable names, and I'd set them like so. But if I were to have an object, I could just say, call my object car, and then I'd set all these things. We haven't seen any of this yet, but it's kind of clear that all this is doing is setting the attributes with these methods. So in these examples, how many variables do I have to manage for each? Well, on this left side, I have to manage 4 per car. But on this right side, I only have to manage a single one, a car variable. Although the car variable represents all these other variables in some way, I only have to deal with one variable, and that's because the object encapsulates its attributes and functions. So now we only have to deal with a single variable that holds all these other internal attributes in some way. And also, in this example, it's a pretty simple example, but think about if you wanted to pass the data of a car to some function, you'd have to, you need 4 arguments in this case, but in this side, you can just simply pass the car a single argument. And then if you update, say you want to add another attribute to represent the car, you'd have to create another variable here, but here you still only have one variable. The details of the attributes are hidden away.